welcome everybody. We're coming to you today from the wonderful place known as the Looney Labs. Today we have a wonderful guest, Andrew Looney. He's also one of our proud sponsors for the Child's Play. They've donated several fantastic games, including Flux the board game, various versions of Flux, Chrononauts. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
I don't know, maybe there's other games we've done. I haven't seen the list of what we gave you, but yeah, we're always happy to support your group. Seems like a very good charity.
Yeah. I know we had you last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that.
Which is pretty nice, and it's great to continue working with you. Today we're actually in a fabulous new place. You just told us that you guys have been here for a couple of months now.
That's right. These are our new offices that we just moved into at the beginning of August, and it's a real step up for us to have an actual office suite and an office building instead of just working out of our basement like we had done for most of our company's existence.
Yeah, how does it feel to like come up from like a basement company to now you're in an official office?
It's a great feeling. It feels like we've like arrived. You know, like. I mean, we've had the feeling of being a real company for a long time.
Sure.
But still, nothing does it like having to actually leave your home and go to an office building and
to actually walk out and say, "I'm going to work now."
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just going down to the basement like it used to be. Now that said, I like the old commute better.
Yeah.
But
easy one,
yeah. But we managed to find an office that's very close to our home and very convenient for our other employees to get to. Is right by the Beltway and so forth. So we love our new offices. We're very pleased to have them.
Okay. Now, how did you get started in the board game biz?
Well, actually, I always wanted to be a writer. And in college, I wrote a short story in which I described an imaginary game using these little plastic pyramid game pieces that didn't exist. And it wasn't a real game, it was just like a plot device, like Quidditch.
Right.
But then people were like, hey, we want to play that Quidditch game. Well, it didn't exist, there's no rules. But that's how it started. I mean, basically, the desire to make a real game like the one I described led to making other games, led to making card games. Specifically, that story is that we were trying to make these pyramid gaming pieces, and it was very difficult to get them done because it's very expensive due to custom manufacturing. And Kristen said, you know what would be great is a card game. I can get card games printed really easily. These pyramids are killing me. So I invented Flux. And it really was just sort of like the next day I said, I got an idea, I think it's pretty good. And it sure was.
That was a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That was a good day.
Yeah, in our class, our teacher has made Flux it's a staple of her teaching regimen.
Awesome.
Now. Like when we first come in for our intro to game design, there's a series of games she has, and like one of them, she's got like Zombie Flux, Pirate Flux, regular Flux, Star Flux. Like she's got a nice little collection of just
Awesome.
Various versions of Flux.
I love that.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice place to start. So as we mentioned earlier, you're one of our sponsors for Child's Play. What makes you like want to give back to the community? Like, what's your drive for that?
Well, I feel very blessed and lucky to have gotten everything that we have done as far as our success. And the more I think the more you succeed, the more you want to then, like you say, give back. Like,
right, and just help others.
You know, now that I've got enough, I can share more with others. I think the Child's Play organization is a very great cause. It sucks being sick, all the more when you're a kid, if you're in a hospital, no matter what. You want games and things to take your mind off of it, to help you get through that time at whatever level you can. I think it's very admirable. So I certainly encourage and support that. And I think that, the more you, like I said, the more you succeed, the more you do need to give back. So I believe in that.
Oh, let me cut in.
Okay.
What were some of the problems that you've come across in your career?
Wow.
Any successes, any demise?
Well, I mean, there's so many problems. I mean, in the early days, it was all about financial. I mean, it takes a lot of money to start a company.
Definitely.
We took, basically, Kristen and I had started in the aerospace industry. We worked for NASA before we met. And we both walked away from high-paying jobs, took all the money and all the credit we could get and dumped it all into making a company with the... Basically, our vision was we're taking a jump off the cliff, and we're going to hope that we can spread our wings and fly before we hit the ground. And actually, we obviously we're still here, we're doing well, but we did have to borrow yet more money, and it's everything takes a lot longer than you expect.
Yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah, it really is.
Odyssey.
Yeah. So, you know, there were some tough years struggling to make ends meet when we weren't really, you know, doing as well as we wanted. It's some of the challenges. I think, in a lot of ways, the biggest challenge for anyone who makes entertainment kind of things is just getting people's attention in a busy world with so many exciting things and so many great games and so many other great things to do and worthy causes, people who need help, all the things, just your own personal problems. There's so many things competing for that narrow time slice of everyone's brain. And just getting someone to say, hey, stop looking at my thing, it's pretty cool. That right there is a big challenge. And I feel very lucky, very fortunate to have come up with something that makes people go, wow, that is great. I want to stop and look at that and tell my friends about it because it's so cool.
Right.
I mean, some of the challenges I face are that I have other cool things that are cooler than Flux, but no one wants to hear about them because, oh, we're too busy hearing about this Flux thing that we know we like.
It's a monopoly.
Yeah, in kind of ways it is. I mean, all my other game designs hate Flux because Flux is the one that steals all their attention. And, you know, my poor great unpublished game ideas that keep waiting for their turn because, no, we're talking about Flux right now, shut up.
I'm sure they'll get out there one day, though.
Someday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
one of these days.
Well, and the pyramids are my favorite example of that. But that's how we started. I mean, that's what the thing that got me going on it. And yet, there's still a hard sell. We still can't get people to get interested in them the way they sure love Flux. But one of these days.
One of these days. Now you talked about you had like just coming up. It's a struggle. Is there any advice you give to like aspiring game designers? Yeah. Just to what helped you to hold on and just keep pushing and then like get to where you are today?
You know, you gotta have perseverance and self-confidence galore. Galore. I mean, you basically have to be. You know, I have to completely believe in yourself and know that this thing I'm working on is great. And I just need to get other people to listen to it and hear about how great it is. And then you have to persevere. Getting them to come on, check it out. You know, you have to, for years, it takes a lot of time to where, like I said, the thing about getting people's attention can be hard. And you have to keep trying at it and keep hanging in there even when, yeah, it doesn't look like this is going to go anywhere. I mean, the early days of our efforts, it's very difficult to break in and get people to listen to you. And even, you know, the more you succeed, the longer you still find that you're still struggling with that attention for eyeballs.
Right.
So you got to be prepared to just hang in the fight and not give up and keep at it. Also, keep making new things. I think an early mistake people make is to latch on to that first idea, that first thing they make, and they don't want to let go of it because that's their baby. But, you know, there's an expression about you need to kill your darlings. You need to recognize that the first thing you make maybe isn't your best one. Maybe the second one will be even better because you have lessons from the first. And the 10th thing you make is going to be great.
Right.
And I think that's true of any discipline, whether it's inventing a game or writing a book or music, stories, videos, anything that you might make. The first few times you do it, you're still learning, you're still developing it, and I think again perseverance. You can get to a stage where you're just discouraged and fed up that it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and that's when you just got to keep pushing on through and making more things, and learning from that craft, learning from those mistakes, making the next one even better, and eventually coming out on top, hopefully.
Hopefully. And just one more question that I like to ask, because I like hearing the answer. Coming up, like, did you ever have any like idols or just people you look to or not inspiration necessarily, just people you looked up to, like this, I want to be like him or I want to be like them?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's a long list of artistic influences that have driven me from. You know, musicians and artists who I simply admire their work, to inventors who I would like to be like that, to even, individuals in our specific industry. I mean, you know, within the game industry, some of the greats like, you know, Richard Garfield from Magic the Gathering, Steve Jackson Games. I mean, you know, here Looney Labs. I kind of like him in a certain degree. It's like a guy who starts a game company because he wants to create games, and he's still there doing it. And Steve's a great guy, and I'm sure I envision being like him. Great people from history. Benjamin Franklin is one of my heroes, I would say. Thomas Jefferson is another great founder, but you know, I always have to give a nod into him because my brother is the associate editor of Thomas Jefferson paper. So he looms large, but he's, you know, I don't know. There's a million. Dr. Robert Goddard is one of my favorites because, you know, all the space program. I came out of NASA, as I mentioned. My dad worked for NASA before him, so. You know, heroes of science have always been a big thing for me. Einstein, great man. I could list any number of guys who and women too. You know, there's not as many of them as you know, in the literature, just because it's been such a male-dominated history for all time. But look around me. My whole company is women. My greatest hero is my wife. I mean, she gave everything in the company. I would still just be this guy with a few ideas if it weren't for my wife and her entrepreneurial drive to build a company and publish my works and take them places. I owe so much to her. She's a fabulous woman.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things I actually admired, because I didn't know this until last year when you came and gave your keynote speech. But you guys are a small group. You guys are nice and close knit. Like I'm sure all of you guys are friends, and just like you guys have the awesome company dog, and you guys are just it's easy just to in the digital gaming field, unless you're a part of one of the smaller indie companies, to get lost in the masses, because the not the fields, but the groups of people who help work on those games are massive. But it's nice to see that a group like you guys who are, and I mean, you guys have even leaped into the digital market with like the Flux app.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Flux on the iPhone is great. But yeah, it's funny you should mention that, because I mean, I spent a couple of years working in the video game industry, because after Goddard, I managed to get into a job where they were making games for, at the time, the new 3DO platform. And I was a 3DO programmer, because this company was going to make games for that. It was going to be the big thing, and then of course a year later PlayStation came out and just crushed that.
Right.
But I had a game called Icebreaker that I invented for the 3DO that is still one of, like, it actually came out, and I love that game. I'm very proud of it, and that helped get me where I'm going as well. But one of the things I really learned from that is, oh my God, computer games are such a pain. It takes this team of people, programmers and artists and musicians and all these, you know, QA people to test it, and then you got to make sure it runs on all the different platforms. So you need more programmers to make it run on other platforms, and it just, whereas, you know, me and my wife in our, you know, our earliest days, just us, were able to tinker out, make a game, and sell it to people. I was like, that's amazing.
Right.
You know, I can create a whole game just using a computer and myself. That's now, of course, things have changed. You know, software development makes it easier for smaller groups to program things on a larger scale, and desktop publishing has changed as far as, you know, manufacturing is concerned. But still, some of the same things apply. It takes much bigger companies to run video games, to make video games, than to do tabletop games, and that's where I like it. I mean, I left the video game industry because I wanted to be able to be much more hands-on, small, close. Also, I just got lucky. I invented a card game, and that worked. You know, if it weren't for inventing Flux and having Kristen to help me take it to the next place, I don't know, I'd probably still be programming computers somewhere myself. But I'm very lucky not to have been stuck in that.
All right. Well, thanks for having us out today, and thanks for sitting through.
You're very welcome.
Interrogate you.
Oh, no problem. Happy to do it.
Thanks again for donating to Child's Play, and I hope
Sure.
all of you watching get a chance to actually come down to Child's Play and play some of Looney Labs' fabulous games, and just check out, donate, help the children.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks for having us out.
Sure. Very welcome. Thanks for the interview.
Cool.
On the road again, just can't wait to get on the road again. life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again.
Here we are at Third Eye Comics.
All right, guys, welcome to a special episode of the DDG.MP4. We're coming to you live-ish from Third Eye Comics out in Annapolis with
Steve Anderson, owner of Third Eye Comics.
and
Trevor.
awesome. So you own Third Eye Comics. It's pretty awesome. It's like at least my dream to one day have a comic shop, and this is pretty cool.
Mine too.
Trevor's too. So like, what's your favorite thing about working in the comic industry?
You know, I've been doing it a long time. I started when I was about 18, and I'm 31 now, so I worked in a shop for about 7 years, and then opened my own. I mean, it's just the people, you know? I mean, your customers are awesome. You know, you're surrounded by cool people 99.9% of the time, and that's really hard to find in any other kind of job. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some interesting characters, I'm sure, that come through. You were just recently, I know Trevor was there at the Baltimore Book Fest, I believe it was called.
Yeah, the Baltimore Book Fest.
So do you work a lot of conventions?
You know what? I wasn't there myself, but we did have a setup there, and we actually were helping them organize the Charm City Comic Pavilion, which was really cool. We're gonna do it again next year. It's hard for me to get out and do conventions because I'm so busy with both the shops.
Right.
But
Understandable.
I usually do Baltimore. That's like our home show, and that's the one that like everybody does. And I'm
Right.
always trying to get out there so I can see everybody and all. But we have a team, like our staff usually works the shows, and I'm usually like all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're one of our proud sponsors for our Child's Play charity
Super
extravaganza.
stoked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you choose, I guess, to support Child's Play?
You know, when Chris was telling me about it, it sounded super awesome, and I mean, we work with a lot of different charities, a lot of different places and stuff like that. We just, we wanted to, it's cool. It's something fun. Yeah.
I'm positive that the kids will enjoy it, and I know everyone that's going to be there is going to enjoy it.
Cool.
I don't suppose you plan on making an appearance?
I might try. It's just, man, it's so hard for me to get away. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to try and take up too much more of your
you're
time.
fine.
We definitely plan on checking the store out. The store
Please
looks
do,
amazing.
yeah.
You guys
Thank
have some
you.
fabulous statues just out and about.
Thank you.
Just one more question.
Yeah, sure, go for it, man. You're good.
I guess who is your idol?
Oh man, that's that's gonna that's tough. You know, there's a lot of different people that are inspiration for me. Growing up, a big one was Henry Rollins from Black Flag, and Rollins Band. The DIY ethic that he kind of exhibited, and just the get it done kind of mentality.
Sure.
Like that is something that's really inspirational for a business owner. I'm a huge fan of a guy named Stephen Pressfield who did a really cool book called The War of Art, which basically is about finding whatever you're good at, whether it's business, entrepreneurship, creating art, whatever, and just doing it. You know what I mean? Comic-wise, our biggest inspirations, they range, and there's a lot of great shops out there. Midtown Comics is an amazing store. Forbidden Planet out in the UK is an amazing store. The late great Atomic Comics out in Arizona, another great shop. There's a lot of inspiration out there for good comic book stores,
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for.
I have to ask one question.
Oh, you have to ask
sure,
one
go
question?
for it, go for it.
So, who would you have to pick as your comic book store owner, your favorite comic book character? If you had to pick one there.
It's a tough call. There's a lot of good ones out there, but oh man, that's a tough one. I'm particularly fond of Spider Jerusalem from the Transmetropolitan Comics. He's kind of like a riff on Hunter S. Thompson. He's really fun in terms of like superhero comics. Dark Side.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, always Dark Side. Yeah.
The villain. You like the villain?
Oh man, I got him on my neck,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having us
Hey,
today.
thank you guys for doing it. We really
thanks
appreciate it.
for supporting the
Dude,
event.
yeah, no, definitely, man. I'm stoked.
All right. This is
Awesome.
DDG.MP4 signing out. See you guys.
See ya.
Cool. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Going places that I've never been, seeing things that I may never see again. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Welcome to another segment of the DDG.MP4. We're out here. I'm sorry, what area is this again?
Deal, Maryland.
Deal, Maryland.
Right on
We're out in
Chesapeake.
the Chesapeake boonies.
The Chesapeake boonies.
Yes. We have another one of our fabulous sponsors who was gracious enough to give us one of our prizes for the raffle for Child's Play. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Cindy Hamilton, and this is my husband, Roy Hamilton.
How you doing? Pretty good, and yourself? Oh, Wendy. Yeah.
Well,
Yes. As it's not readily apparent because I'm sure the table's not in the shot, but we'll spice it over. They are donating the cornhole sets, 2 table size and 2 regulation sizes, right?
Actually, it's the 2 boards make up 1 set, so it's
Oh, cool.
tabletop set, and this is our travel set.
Okay, the travel set.
Yes, the regulation set is 2x4. It's a real big, heavy set.
Oh man. Yeah, and they've done some great artwork on it. As you guys will see when you get to the gala, there's 2 Space Invaders, one with the Child's Play colors and one that's in like a really nice like chrome and black color. And then there's 8-bit Mario and 8-bit Sonic the Hedgehog. So this is like I haven't met anyone before who makes cornhole sets. How did you guys get started? Like what spurred this?
Well, the game itself came from the Midwest. Okay, it's basically there's a hole in the board and there's corn in the bags, and that's the cornhole.
Oh, cool.
So a lot of people out here play horseshoes. So during the summer that's great, but in the wintertime it's too cold, so they go inside and they play cornhole. And the cornhole has become a lot more popular on the East Coast, especially for people in this area and like in the beach area. It's great to play on the beach.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot safer to throw a bag full of corn than a horseshoe in your house.
Well, the regulation bags are 1 pound each, so
Oh,
there's
man.
a heft to them.
Everything gets heftier when you know
Yes.
regulation. So like, why did you choose to donate to Child's Play? Like, what was your investment?
Well, I think that the University of Baltimore does a wonderful, wonderful thing in the education system up there, and especially the way they're in tune with the community in Baltimore, and they give back, and they have you young people teaching you how to give back as well. Because if we don't help out people, we're all in trouble, you know.
Right. Well, this is fabulous. Trevor, did you have any questions?
I just wanted to ask, how many years have you guys been doing cornhole sets?
This is our 3rd year.
3rd year?
3rd year, yes.
Now, did you have any particularly difficulties when you first started out that were like you had to kind of polish out to make the finished product that we see before us, or did it kind of come natural, I should say?
Well, the woodworking comes natural to my husband. He's got it down to a science now. A little bit with the paints, and we had to play around with that a little bit, especially the poly, the level. Different people like different levels of slickness on their boards. So the ones that we're giving to Child's Play, they're the high gloss, sticky, slick ones. So, but other people, they like them with a sandy finish, and it's just getting that whole idea down.
As game designers, or aspiring game designers at least, all of us are like hoping to eventually either get into the game design industry and join a company that we are involved with, or not involved with, but love, or create our own company. Do you have any like advice for people trying to make their own company?
Well, I think you guys already have a good hand on that, and you love what you do. If you don't love what you do, you're going to get burned out very quickly. You're going to get bored with it. So you won't have that passion in there either.
Right. All right, well, thanks for having us. Thanks for making these lovely cornhole sets. And we can't wait to show them off and see everybody's reaction.
Oh, great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.